Hi, I'm Thomas Johnson, and I'm the founder and CEO of GetUpNGetFit, Wellness and Fitness Coaching Concierge. I'm also a C-suite advisor and investor. And you're listening to How May I Serve You, where I'm constantly on the quest to surround myself with the best coaches while learning how to better serve our executive clientele by asking them, how may I serve you? And today's show is sponsored by Get Up and Get Fit. Get Up and Get Fit will be providing students with textbooks and school supplies in Cambodia in honor of our guest, as well as our philanthropic mission to impact at least 50,000 people per year. So this guest is Jaide Massin. Jaide, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing.
Awesome.
So from resume and LinkedIn pages to interview preparation and salary negotiation, Jaide, the job search coach, has got you covered. Jay specializes in helping people navigate their way through the entire job search process while teaching job seekers how to effectively sell their skills to prospective employers. Ooh, let's go, Jay. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. Great summary there.
There you go. Listen, I love you. I love your bio, and I had to bring the gusto.
Loved it.
So Jay, tell us a bit about yourself, the 2 minute version.
Great question. So basically, what I do is I help job seekers package themselves and sell themselves so that they can get hired. That's what I do in a nutshell. And what I find is that, a lot of times it's not always the person that is qualified for the job that gets hired. It's the person that gives the best interview that gets hired. And so if you think about that, there's a big difference of, again, we want to make sure that, those who are qualified for the job also know how to sell themselves. And to sell yourself is a skill set that one should learn, and it's not something that you're necessarily born with. So what I do is I help uh, job seekers figure out where is their sizzle. What are the things? What have they saved, made, or achieved for other companies that they can talk about that's relevant to a hiring manager? Because ultimately, people like people who can do something for them, and people want to hire people who bring something to the table. So I
Sure,
help
sure.
job seekers articulate that in a way that hiring managers accept and want.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So Jay, I want you to tell us a little bit more about yourself in terms of like where you from, right? Where you from? Who are you? All right. So where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Well, I'm from Florida originally, but
Okay.
I've lived in the tri-state New York area since 2004. And I actually have a music background. I went to
Mm,
school. I have a jazz vocal background.
jazz.
Um, but I'm not necessarily. I mean, I'm not a professional musician right now. But I when I moved into Manhattan, I got into recruiting, and that's where I learned the bulk of my experience. And whether it's doing music or art or finance or whatever, everybody has to sell themselves. And everybody has to learn how to negotiate, and everybody has to learn how to communicate effectively so you can get to where you need to go. And so those are the skills that I learned, and I found that people need those. People need to learn those skills, because that's the difference between getting hired and not getting hired.
Yeah, you're right. Effective communication is definitely key. You have to get your point across the right way, right? Um,
Exactly.
so how did you transition from a jazz background to becoming a job searching coach? I want to hear that story.
Well, I was singing jazz for a while,
Okay.
and I also play piano, and I really wanted to move to Manhattan, and I realized that I needed to eat and I needed to pay the rent, and I went and I got a job. And the job that I got was being a recruiter. I was a headhunter for a boutique finance and accounting staffing firm
Okay.
that was owned and managed by a CPA firm. So I was actually working within a CPA firm in Midtown Manhattan. And
Okay.
I did that for a very long time. And it gave me the best education that I couldn't purchase this education. It was great because what it allowed me to do was, in the process of finding the right people for this particular company, because that's what was my job. I was finding staff accounting people, both on the permanent and the temporary basis. I was meeting with all of these hiring managers from like all different industries. I was meeting hiring managers from family offices where they're managing investments to apparel companies to manufacturing companies to professional service. I was meeting and I was talking to them because I had to understand exactly what they were looking for so I could find the right person. And that was like the best education. And so what I found was that for me to make sure that my candidates were hired, because that's how I would get paid, I needed to prep them. And when I prepped them, and I prepped them within the mindset of what the hiring manager was looking for. And we're not just talking about your skills, but even the way that you communicate and the way that you answer questions and the way the answers and the information that you choose to say and what you choose not to say can make or break the interview. And so it was the prep that I found was the most effective. And I find that that is what's needed right now in the job market for job seekers, is learning how to effectively sell yourself to hiring managers.
So Jay, would you say confidence has a part to play in whether you get the job or not as well?
Confidence does. It does. But even if you are shy and nervous and quote unquote not as confident as you feel, if you have a plan when you walk in that door of what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, you don't need your confidence. You will be fine.
So it's about execution.
Correct.
Understood.
Confidence is very subjective. So I don't want to put that kind of pressure on people, because some people may or may not be that confident, because the whole job search process is very emotionally draining and also nerve-wracking for some people. So yeah. So if you have a way of doing it, you have a formula, you have a method to your madness, you are more likely to be successful.
Okay. So I know you just mentioned you got into your job, your occupation, because you're looking for a job. So since you've been in this space for such a long time, have you become passionate about this area of your expertise right now, this space, this recruitment structure? I would say, have you become are you passionate?
I'm very passionate. I feel like this is my calling. I stopped being a recruiter because I wanted to focus on this, and I opened up my own business.
Okay.
And so I've been focusing on helping individuals with with prepping themselves and interviewing and putting their resumes together and really just understanding how to sell themselves for the last, I would say, 6 to 8 years. And I feel like this is something that's needed in the world today, especially with, millennials and Gen Zers and all those, young people. There's not enough emphasis on how to effectively communicate, how to sell yourself. And it all comes down to, you have to understand who your listener is.
True.
And that's where it comes down to. If you want to sell somebody anything, you have to understand what their need is. And that's a skill. So that's what I help people do.
Okay. So I've interviewed so many different coaches on this podcast, right? There are so many different types of coaches and coaching style. How would you coin your style? Because I know you call yourself the job search coach. What's your style of coaching?
My style of coaching is very pragmatic. I'm a very logical, straightforward type of person.
Okay.
So I like to give people, first it starts with the resume. So we'll get that resume to tell a story that feels true for the job seeker. And the resume, the whole purpose of this resume is to support what they're looking to do. So if they're in marketing, the resume is going to scream marketing, and it's going to focus on telling the story of how they have come from point A to point Z in their marketing career, highlighting all of the things that they've saved, made, or achieved for other companies, because that's what hiring managers want to see. And
Got it.
then from that resume, we build the LinkedIn profile. And then we also figure out how to answer the questions that these, the hiring managers are going to ask them on the job interviews. So it's really about, it's breaking down exactly and figuring out how do we make this conversation about filling the need of the hiring manager. And so
Yeah.
that's my coaching style. It's more about, again, being very methodical.
Hmm.
And then in the same vein, I really find that you need to help us psych people up. So I'm also like your what do they call it? Like your jump man, your
Hype man.
I'm
Hype
the
man.
hype man. I'm your hype man. You know what I mean? I get them ready. I get them ready. I get them psyched.
Okay.
And I get them feeling prepared. However that may look, because it's, feeling prepared is different for everybody.
Yeah.
But my job is to make sure that when they walk through that door, no matter what happens, they feel good about what they did and they feel good about themselves and they're motivated to continue to keep looking, if that is the case.
You know what? I love your approach because you help them with their mentality, right, as well as positioning, right. Um, Not only do you help them with the resume, but you go and help create a LinkedIn profile because when a employer is looking at a candidate, of course we're going to do a background search. We're going to Google that person's name, see their activities online, and LinkedIn is one of the best way to find out more information about a person. So I love that positioning approach right there.
Great. Yeah.
So, if someone was looking for a coach, what traits would you advise to look for?
Well, first you want to have somebody that you like.
Yeah, that's
You're
important.
going to be spending time with this person. You want to have some kind of understanding. You want to feel good in their presence, right? And you know this because you coach people. There needs to be some kind of banter, some kind of dialogue, some kind of just emotional level of like having a trust and feeling safe, and
Hmm.
and that goes along with liking the person. And then you want that coach to really keep you honest and keep you honest with yourself and accountable,
Mm.
because if you're not accountable and you're not staying consistent. I coach people on job hunting. So my biggest thing is consistency. I think it could be anything you do. Consistency is key, right? You
Yes,
don't have
indeed.
to be a genius. It's the person that practices and the person that is the long lasting person that usually wins, right?
Yeah,
So it's the same thing with job seeking. You have to just keep your head on the goal and don't worry about all of the different steps or setbacks along the way. So what I do is I don't have people focus on getting the job. The job is, we can't control what other people think, but what we can control is our consistency. And consistency looks like applying to 10 jobs a day, or having a weekly goal of applying to 50 jobs a week, and with ultimately, at least 3 touch points. So either a face-to-face interview, a phone call, or a Zoom. And those are your goals. You may not reach that, but the way to get there is the consistency. And
got
that's
it, got
that's
it.
what I keep people in the game.
There you go, there you go. I like that. I like that. Um, so what type of clients do you work with? Are you working with just folks that are coming from academia, from like college, looking for a job? Are you working with folks who are transitioning from one um type of job to the next? What's your avatar? What does the client look like?
So my client base is pretty much everybody. So, and that's a great question. I work with people coming right out of college. I work with people, and this is all industries. I work with people looking to make a mid-career change. Maybe they got laid off or
Hmm.
they want to leave. I work with them. I work with people that don't want to be in the industry anymore and they
Hmm.
want to take the transferable skills that they currently have and apply them to another industry. I work with I work with all the people in between. So and that yeah, I work with everybody.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So, are you currently working on any new projects that you would like to share with us?
Yes, I'm currently writing a book about
Mm.
my methodology. It's like a no nonsense book. And the book is not supposed to be long. It's
Hmm.
supposed to be what you need to get a job. And it would cover the 4 things that I do, which is resume writing, LinkedIn profiles, interview preparation, and how to conduct a job search. And I'm hoping to get that out by the end of the year. And I also have a podcast. So, for those people that that are maybe not ready to work with me one-on-one, they can subscribe to my podcast. It's free, and I give different tips on resume writing, interview preparation, and job searching. It's called The Job Search Coach. It's on every podcast platform.
Awesome, awesome. The job search coach. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be tuning in. I don't need a job right now, but I'm always curious.
And I usually keep it under 3 minutes, because some people don't have time to sit and listen for an hour. So, I like to keep it short and sweet and to the point.
All right, so you're basically providing like nuggets and like gems for 3 minutes. That's awesome. Okay.
Exactly.
So if someone were to inquire about your services or just want to connect with you, where can they find you, Jaide?
Well, I have a website. It's called Jaide, Jaide, thejobsearchcoach.com. You can find me there. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jaide Massin. You can email me at jade.massin@gmail.com. Find me in any of those places, and I would be happy to work with any one of your viewers. It would be an honor.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing. So thank you for coming on How May I Serve You? And thanks for sharing, your story with us. And last but not least, Jaide, how may I serve you?
Spread the word. I would love to be able to serve more people as well. So I appreciate the opportunity to share what I do on your platform. So thank you so much.
And you're very welcome, and I shall. Okay. Last but not least, everyone, tune in next week to our next episode, and let's be consistent. And don't forget, always ask, how may I serve you? Take care.